back and just pulled the ribs off the grill. So we're back with live talking barbecue. Going through this rib cook for the last couple hours. They're done. They're still panned up. And, we're going to cut them up. At least one slab up. We'll cut them up. Just let y'all see the process. Big reveal. Looks pretty good to me. And like I say, what you're looking for, just where that meat is pulled up on the bone, that lets you know you're done this. And then the other way, they call it the flop. You pick them up and they fold. That's good. Hot. Too hot. Alright, we're going to take one of these, cut it up, and we'll let you see what they're hitting on. Grab my cutting board here. Oh, glory. I think you just stare at that for like hours if you have to. Just like an ASMR rib video. Just hours of staring at perfectly cooked ribs. Alright. We're gonna come over here to this buggy. Check her out. Find your points in between. Ooh, look at that. That's what you want. Should be no struggle. Right through with the knife. Bam. Also, if you got a nice sharp knife, that'll work too, but this is a pretty good knife. Cuts real good. But there's a bone right there. Little bone one. Sometimes you'll get that. You get one rib that's got like two bones connected to it. But other than that, we're gonna slice this one on up. As you can see, just sliding right through. No toughness, no really pulling on them. The knife goes straight through. That lets you know you got a done rib. No struggle. Ooh. And for the big reveal, let's find one of the good big meaty ones. Look at that unit right there. It's just a gorgeous unit. You see that smoke ring that we got from it. Yeah, I'm gonna take a bite out of this one. See? And that's truly what you want right there. You want to bite just like that. Alright. It's tender enough to where I could pull that meat off the bone if I wanted to, but I ain't got to. I'll flip the camera and show you. Yeah, that bite there is what you want. We'll take another one. Clean bone. Through this process, I've talked to you how we do it. It's not that long. This was basically 3 hours on the grill. Perfectly cooked barbecue ribs. Right. tender. There's your bone. And that's what you want. Also, man, I ain't had ribs in a while. I've been craving ribs, but I got some. We're here. Man, if there was like shared taste division or something. I'm very impressed with the flavor that I got off of this Great Value pork rib. I really didn't think much of it. It's really got a nice balance of what it put on the ribs, a little bit of sweetness, and just a little bit of heat. Not too much, not too crazy. But these came out good. Pretty much came out how I expected them to if you were watching it live. From the beginning to the middle. So now that you've joined me here at the end. So basically there was no editing in this. This wasn't an edited video. It was a bunch of lives, but it happened over a long time. And I'm glad you were able to join me here. I'm cooking these ribs today. I might do another one of these next weekend. With like maybe chicken or something that cooks a little bit faster so I can stay on the live longer without jumping in and out of my house. But these are delicious. And don't just want some, have some. But, like, for real, like, not really much more I can say about these. Like, came clean from the bone. Not really much left there other than cartilage. A little bit of meat, but you know. Now, another thing I will show you on this live, if you want, is how to make a really good barbecue sauce. So, if you want me to show you how to make a really quick and delicious barbecue sauce, put sauce in the chat, and I'll show you. But while we do that, like, just look at that gorgeous unit, juicy rib dripping. I mean, I'm really super impressed with that rub. I might use it on something else. But, so, share this live. You know, tap some love. If you want me to do these again, if you want like a real barbecue live, you know, you don't see a lot of people doing cooking lives, but I know this one's kind of weird. This is my first attempt at it. I really didn't think it through. Something that's like a 3-hour cook on ribs. But like I say, anybody who tells you that they're cooking ribs for 6-7 hours, they're lying to you, or they're doing something wrong, but they don't know what they're doing when it comes to knowing how to manage their fire and their heat on a grill. Most of the time, those people are using like some fancy, overrated pellet grill, and they're like, "Oh yeah, man, you know, I put them on the pellet grill for 6 hours, man." They just no, you're not a real barbecuer. You're not a real griller. You're doing smoke in your oven with liquid smoke and a couple of chips of wood. If you want to barbecue for real, charcoal, wood fire, keep it classic. You're going to get the flavor. You're actually going to learn what you're doing. You're not going to really become a pit master if that's what you're trying to become using some pellet smoker. You're not. Like, you're never going to be a real pit master because you're not controlling fire. You're not controlling heat. You're not learning your natural times that you need to learn when you're cooking something like this. Like, I got an electric smoker. I like using it when I'm feeling lazy. When I'm going to meal prep a bunch of stuff, I'll use my electric smoker. I'll throw a bunch of chicken in it and let it go overnight while I'm asleep. And I wake up in the morning and I've got food for the week when I go clocking in at work. But other than that, if I got the time and the freedom, I'm going to light my charcoal grills up. I'm gonna fire some charcoal. I'm gonna fire some wood chips. I'm gonna throw some wood logs in there. I got a pecan tree in the backyard, so that's the best, man. Get some limbs off that pecan tree and smoke some wood. But man, that's the thing. You gotta learn the skill. And everything in life is skill. So as long as you can learn, you can learn. And if you want to learn here, I'm a great teacher when it comes to this. I've been doing this for a while now. Like I said, these didn't fall off the bone. I could have made them to where they fall off the bone. But I made them to where they're tender enough. Like I say, if you know what you're looking for during your cook times, you're watching the meat pull up on the bone. That meat's going to pull up so far on the bone when they're getting done that you'll know they're at their tender point where you can pull them. Like I did with these, throw them in a pan, let them go for about another 30 minutes, indirect heat on the heat, and then they're pull them and they're done. And they're perfectly good, juicy, tender, delicious rib. You know, so, but that's just how it's done. You know, barbecuing is a craft. It's not just something you pick up one day and you're doing like most people do it. Like you cook for your family, you cook for your friends, you probably grill a hot dog, probably do some burgers. And then you're like, man, I'm really uncomfortable cooking something like ribs. I'm really uncomfortable cooking something like a pork butt. I've had a bunch of people come to me, man, I want to do a brisket, but I'm scared of messing it up. I'm scared of spending $120, $130 on a brisket. I ain't never trimmed a brisket. I don't know. I tell everybody, pick a starter level meat. It's not going to cost you too much money if you mess it up. Trust me, I messed up a bunch of ribs before I got the process right. But once I got the process dialed in, it's like writing my name on a piece of paper. Like riding a bicycle. You ain't really trying that no more, you're just doing it. And once you get in there and doing it, it's like hitting weight room. You know, like you might warm up 150, 125, but you know your max on the bench is 275, 300. You might not want to hit your warm up that day. You might be like, I'm going straight to my max, and I'm going to max out today. It's the same thing with barbecue. You know, once you get in there, you know that skill. You ain't really concerned about what's going on the grill because you know what your temps are. You know where your heat is. You know what you're doing. You're not guessing at it. You're not wandering off from the grill and going and taking a nap and then waking up angry because you burned all your meat up. You're not doing that. But people do that. And then they go, man, you know, I was grilling the other day. I burned all my meat up, man. Like, I don't know what happened, man. I sat down, drank a couple beers, a couple Steve Weisers like Stone Cold. And the next thing I know, man, my grill's on fire because I put the meat directly over the coals right at the beginning before they burned down enough to where I wouldn't get flare-ups if I did put the meat directly over the coals. But you can cook directly over the coals, but you got to be there to watch it. You can't cook meat directly over fire and expect it not to burn, and you're not there looking at it. It's the same thing with cooking anything in your kitchen. If you put eggs in a pan and you walk away from the eggs, you're going to burn them up. You know, it's like toast in a toaster oven. You know, if you put toast in a toaster oven and you set it too long, you're going to have burnt toast. It's the same concept across that food world. It's not rocket science. It's basic mathematics, man. It's basic thugonomics, as John Cena used to say back in the day. Word life. You know? This isn't like set it and forget it crock pot cooking. When you're on a smoker, when you're on a barbecue grill, the point of trying to become a grill master and being a grill master is monitoring what you're doing. You're out in front of it. You are the one in control. You're controlling your baffles. Whether you got a bottom baffle and a top baffle, a side baffle and a side offshoot smokestack, or you got an offshoot smoke box with a top baffle, you are responsible for controlling your heat, your flow of heat, how much smoke you want, how much smoky flavor you want on the meat, how much smoke you want the meat to get. A lot of people never really talk about that when it comes to barbecue. You get a lot of people, yeah, man, I put it out there to smoke, man, and I just let it smoke. Well, you can do that. You can wind up with some over-smoked meat that don't taste like nothing but smoke. So there's a lot of different ways that you can mess this up, and that people mess this up all the time because just like with anything, they think it's just going to be, well, I lit the grill up, man, I put it out there and I did it. Well, that's not how that situation works. You're gonna run into those situations where you spent money. Let's just say you just invited 25 friends over, man. I'm firing up the grill today. Food's gonna be ready at 6. Come 6 o'clock, you messed it up. Now you gotta go to some chain barbecue place and pretend like you did the barbecue, but when you went somewhere like a Dreamland or a Big Bob Gibson's or Demetrius, or Bob Sykes, Full Moon, hey man, let me get 4 pounds of pork, man, and some ribs, man. I was cooking at home and I messed it up, man. I gotta make the people think that I did this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? Get after here for some different other reason. I will give you like a cheat if you really want to impress people and you're kind of new into barbecuing and smoking meats. It's I call it the rotisserie chicken hack. You basically just go buy a couple of rotisserie chickens, throw them on a smoker for about 15 minutes, and you will literally have like the best smoked chicken hack ever. I might do a video about that, like a smoked chicken hack video for amateurs and how to impress your friends and make them think that you're a pit master. But I just hate the fact y'all just sitting there doom scrolling, watching me eat these ribs. Like, I really wish I could share these with y'all. Like, if there was a Rick and Morty portal gun and you told me where you were, I just open the portal and toss you a rib. But I feel like a bit of a barbarian here. It's much like grease and shit is on my hands. It's crazy. But this is kind of like my first attempt at doing a live. I think it kind of turned out okay on my end. I know like the ribs turned out okay. I wasn't concerned about that. But it's a good thing. Got a few people in here. Got a few people that are looking, wanting to learn. Hopefully, in the little conversation I've had with you, I've enlightened you into some like the techniques when it comes to barbecuing. I know a lot of people post videos, they show you, but they don't really teach you. Anybody can show anything, but it's hard for people to teach. Teaching and showing are two different things. It's like leading a horse to water. You can't make him drink, you can't show him how to drink. Show a man the fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man the fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. And I'm here to teach you how to become proper grill masters in your own right. And so, hopefully you've enjoyed this a little bit. I'm going to eat some more of these ribs. Probably crack open a beer or two. Having a good night. But thanks for coming in. I hope you liked it. It's been very inspirational to me. I'm going to put the camera back on these ribs for a little bit. Just let y'all just look at the glory of these ribs, while we're sitting here. But, like I say, like those things are beautiful. Like, freaking gorgeous. And like I say, that Great Value pork rib, I'm most impressed with it. Like, very, super impressed with just how that turned out on these ribs. And that's the cut slab. I left the other slab over here whole in the pan. Like that's just beautiful. Like, you don't get no better looking than that on a slab of ribs. Like, that's all I can say. Like and follow my page. I've got a bunch of barbecue videos on there. Not a lot of long form, a lot of teaching videos. They're like mostly short, just straight throughs. I'm gonna work on doing some more long form content when it comes to this. Like, I've never really thought about doing content. And then like a couple of weeks ago, I had a friend tell me, he's like, man, Raymond, you can really get on here, man. You're good at the barbecue thing. It's a business that you run. You can teach some people how to do some things and then get you some customers to grow. So I do this here in Birmingham, Alabama, where I'm from. And man, it's just fun for me. It's something I enjoy doing. And if you got a passion for something, go after it. I told a friend a couple of weeks ago, what's there to be afraid of? Like, what are you afraid of? If you got a passion for something, do it. You watch hundreds and hundreds of people use their phones. They get on TikTok and they're making money. They're making a lot of money doing it. And they're doing something they're passionate about, hopefully. Right? Money isn't everything, but money does make life better. It's the thing no one ever tells you. You never heard a rich person say, man, wish I didn't have all this money. But, man, look, I'm going to do this to y'all one more time. But you just see, like, those turned out perfect. But like you can see here, what I talked about during the cook, once I noticed that meat had pulled up that bone, it's almost a ½ inch from where it was when it started during the cook. That let me know that meat had squished on the bone, pulling itself together. So it's pulling towards the moisture on the inside, which is kind of where you get that moisture pools in the interior of the meat. You know, where you get the juice. That juice stays in there. That's kind of what you want to be getting. You don't want like dry. You should never have dry ribs. You never have any kind of dry barbecue. And you know, you ever see somebody like they're trying to force it, like they're squeezing down real hard. It's like, look at how juicy that is. It's not juicy. If you got to do more than just a slight push like that, and you just see how juicy that is, like, shouldn't take like putting it in a vice grip to see juiciness. Like, it should just be there. And you see when I talk about that, I got the smoke ring, got that nice, beautiful bark, again, from that Great Value pork rub seasoning. Like, this was some of the best thing ribs that I have done in a while. Like I say, I hadn't cooked ribs in about a month or so. And these were on sale at Walmart for like $10 a slab. So I got two. You know, like, but this is what I'm saying. That's what you want. That's like pure money right there. Like, if this is a competition rib, this would be an award-winning rib at a competition. But it's not a competition, except for like the fact that if I was in a competition, I would win with my ribs because they're delicious. And these are like some of the best ribs I've ever done. But you know, like I say, let me show you this. We're gonna take a bite out of this one. And here, just that easy pull. Right, no crazy chew. It's not like shaking it and it's falling off the bone, but it's tender enough. That bite, like straight in there. This is a thick piece of meat on this one though. So I'm gonna take another bite. And just see, it's like clean. See, that's the other thing that I like, which is why I don't remove the membrane off the back. You get some nice little crispy membrane bits if you leave the membrane on the rib. So if you leave the membrane on the rib, which I always suggest doing, it kind of makes like rib bacon on the backside that you can like roll up with your fingers. And you just get like these little crunchy bits of skin. They're very delicious. But you know, that's it with the ribs. Like, these are perfect. They're delicious. You know. Alright. Just fix clean off the bone. Just twist. Literally. Just like separate it. Like right off of there. Yeah. I'm just eating. Eating and talking to you guys. So, what's going on in y'all's world tonight? On Sunday. I'm guessing most of y'all gotta go to work in the morning like I do. You know. But as for right now, we're just sitting here looking at ribs and talking about barbecue. Two things that I enjoy. I hope it's something you enjoy too if you tuned in for this live. But let's see, which I didn't try. Let's see if we can get one off the bone. Not too much struggle. You see a little peel. No teeth. Just peeling it right off the bone. So that's what you want. You want that ability. Just be able to peel it. Right off the bone. There. Clean. Like, you don't get no better than that. Like, just clean pieces of meat. Perfect. Juicy all over. Don't need sauce. Someone's telling you need sauce on your barbecue. They didn't season it right. I'll tell anybody the benchmark of a good barbecue restaurant, ask for sauce on the side and see what their reaction is. If they say yes, instantly, they're a place that seasons their meat properly. Most places you go to barbecue wise, they're probably only using salt and pepper and some kind of vinegar spritz on the meat. Thinking that makes for a good rib, a good barbecue. Or they're mopping it with the sauce during the cook, trying to infuse flavor into it. If you get a good dry rub, that's all you really need. You know, like I say, I'm super impressed with this. It was like maybe $4, but I mean, it shines. Like, it's got a perfect bit of sweetness, just a little bit of heat. And if I was somebody, which is why I did this, if you're a first timer, just get you an over the counter rub. Don't try to do nothing fancy. You know, get you some Lowry's, Tony Chachere's. Get some pre-made barbecue rub to start out with, you know. And then once you get comfortable up there and you start understanding the flavors, load your cabinet up with just seasoning, salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, cayenne, paprika, you know. Start mixing those things. Develop your own flavor. Chili powder, you know. Jalapeno powder. And that's one of the things you gotta do to become a good learner. But, like as I say, I'm not gonna hold y'all any more longer than I already have. But this has been a good live for me. Hopefully, you know, I imparted some knowledge as I wash my hands of all the pork grease. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. See you next time. Like I say, I keep the grill hot. I keep it smoking. Appreciate you guys. Have a good night.